The world of anime is full of wicked and immoral characters, but every now and then we come across people who are so damn evil that they outshine even the good guys. So to celebrate such terrifying icons, we are going to check out the top 10 most evil characters in all of anime. We're starting off with not a villain, but a protagonist, whose actions blur the boundary between good and evil. I'm talking about Light Yagami from Death Note. Now I'm sure some of you must be thinking, wasn't he the good guy? Well, the answer to that is a resounding no. In what world, a guy who decides to play God to stroke his own ego is a good character? Yes, he wanted to get rid of the world of crime, but the way he went about it was so wrong from the start. You just can't play the role of judge, jury, and executioner simultaneously. But that's not even the main problem with Light. What makes him truly evil is that he enjoys taking lives because it establishes his superiority over others. He might have begun his crusade with good intentions, but he soon became the embodiment of the very evil he was fighting. Moving on, we have Annie Leonheart, who in my humble opinion is the most evil character in Attack on Titan, which is impressive considering all the horrible crap that goes on in this anime. Now let me explain why I place Annie above so many other horrible characters. She's simply irredeemable. She committed genocide by destroying Eldia, but unlike Rainier, she did it with a smile on her face. She even admits after waking up from a long slumber that she enjoyed what she did, and she doesn't feel any remorse for it. All of this makes her not only a horrible character, but also one with a lot of depth, which is why probably so many people enjoy watching her. Speaking of which, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button if you enjoy watching our videos. Next up at number 8, we have Mahito from Jujutsu Kaisen. Now let's make one thing clear, Mahito isn't a human. He's a cursed spirit of the highest order, and in his eyes, humans are nothing but toys, so it's no surprise that he's taken countless lives to perfect his evil craft. However, what makes him worthy of our list is the way he manipulates Junpei. As I'm sure many of you know, Junpei was facing extreme bullying at school when he met Mahito, who was nice to him. This formed a strange relationship between the two, where Junpei was trying to bring his paranormal friend to the good side, and at first it seemed to be working. But everything changed when Mahito showed his true colors and killed Junpei's mom to make him hate Yuji. And when even that failed to blacken this kid's heart, Mahito just got bored and turned him into a frickin' monster. Only an evil being could do such horrible things. Moving on from one manipulative monster, we go to another one. I'm talking about Orochimaru from Naruto, who was arguably the biggest villain in the show. His despicable experiments lead to the 4th Shinobi War, and he caused all of this destruction to become the strongest man alive. He didn't even flinch before sacrificing women and children to achieve his goals, and when he couldn't get something by force, to manipulating the emotions and traumas of not only his enemies, but even his friends, in this mentality of using people as mere puppets that make him the most evil character in the world of Naruto. At number 6, we have Frieza, who single-handedly introduced millions of kids to the concept of pure evil. I remember watching him and thinking, why would he do such ungodly things? I mean, this guy was wiping out entire planets, executing children, and doing it all with a creepy grin on his face. And yet, he didn't have a single reason to do any of this. In the world of Dragon Ball Z, there were villains before him, but they all had some reasoning behind their heinous actions. Frieza, on the other hand, did it for fun. Like a child destroying a sandcastle, he kept on erasing civilizations just because it seemed fun. And if that isn't evil, I don't know what is. Moving on from the genocidal maniac, we come to Makishima, who is also responsible for bloodshed on a horrifying scale, yet he does it in a way that would send chills to your very core. For those of you who haven't watched Psycho-Pass, Makishima is the guy whose brain is so messed up that even after beating the life out of multiple bystanders, he feels nothing on a psychological level. This is a character who doesn't even understand the concept of empathy, and even though he's destroying lives to expose the hypocrisy of his society, there is no way to justify or even understand his actions unless you're also a psychopath. At number 4, we have the Satan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. I'm talking about Dio Brando, whose evil knows no bounds. And even though it seems impossible now, he was once just a kid, trying to survive on the streets. His abusive father and traumatizing upbringing turned him into a man who only cared about himself. It didn't matter if he had to poison the man who raised him or unleash an army of vampires on the face of the earth. He would do anything to fulfill his insatiable lust for power. And even though he wasn't born evil, as the show goes on, it becomes clear that there isn't a single good bone in his body. FMA has quite a long list of evil characters, but if you ask anyone who's seen the show, they'll say without hesitation that Sho Tucker is the most evil son of a gun in this anime. I mean, we kind of expect homunculi to be ruthless since they're not human, but for a man to do what Sho did is incomprehensible. Desperate to maintain his reputation of being a genius alchemist, he doesn't even hesitate to sacrifice his wife and daughter, and even though I've classified him as a human, his actions will convince you that he's just another demon hiding inside the body of a kind man. At number 2, we have Griffith, whose fall from grace is a horrifying tale. This good-looking and soft-spoken young man started off as a mercenary who followed certain ideals, but as time goes on and his best and only friend Guts leaves him, his sanity begins to crack. He became a power fiend who happily sacrifices his comrades to get stronger, and after becoming a freaking demon, he finally unleashes his wrath upon his friend by hurting the love of his life. Yes, there have been characters who have done far more evil things, but hardly anyone has ever reached the true depths of darkness like Griffith. And finally, we come to the most evil character in all of anime. If you've seen Monster, you know there's only one man who deserves this title, Johann LIEBERT. It's hard to even explain the true depth of his depravity. He started off his streak of horrible crimes by executing his adoptive parents. And with that kind of start, it's no surprise he turned out to be the head of a European serial killer organization. And his list of victims became so long that people started wondering if he was the reincarnation of none other than Hitler. You just can't get more evil than that. And even if you knew nothing about his exploits, his words and cold stare are enough to make you believe in the existence of the devil himself. And that rounds up our list. Feel free to share your thoughts with me in the comment section down below. Who do you think is the most evil bad guy? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.